The Oaks Retreat has impacted my life in ways that I cannot even begin to explain, but to start, I would say that it really placed in perspective what it means to pursue Christ as a college student. Because coming from a small town, it is very easy to fall into the trap of cultural Christianity. And so when you come to a college where the Christian life is so vibrant, where the pastors are so caring, and the community is so plentiful, it really teaches you how to pursue Christ and seek the glory of His name above the superficial glories that we tend to distract ourselves with.
Coming with an open mind, come in ready to worship the Lord with a lot of fellow Christians, and realize that if you come in with an open heart, with the intent to glorify Him as opposed to figure everything out for yourself, that He's going to make a path and He's going to move a lot of different things around, just like He did with me. And finally, it doesn't end when your session is over with, and it doesn't end with the friends that you do make there, and it doesn't end with the church that you do find there. I still find people and still make connections through the Oaks years after my time going through it as a student.
I loved the Oaks. It gave me such a great experience to come together with a like-minded body of people, all for one purpose, and that being Jesus Christ. I went with 2 friends and came back with so many more, and that was before I even got to Auburn. It blessed me with so many sweet and precious friendships and relationships, one of those being my counselor Libby, and she actually encouraged me to become an Oaks counselor, and now we're working the same session. Also, my best friends are from the Oaks, and I'm actually living together with Oaks girls next year.
Last year I attended the Oaks. This year I'm a counselor at the Oaks, and for me, going into college last year, heading into freshman year, I was super anxious and super nervous about college, because college felt so big and I felt so small, and I had such anxiety and nerves about what college would look like. And my biggest prayer over the summer was that the Lord would provide an outlet, and the Lord would provide a means for a church home, and would provide a means for fellowship and accountability with like-minded believers. And I believe the Lord used the Oaks Retreat as a tool. I believe He used the Oaks, He spoke to me through the Oaks, and He gave me that foundation and that security and that peace that only He can provide. So I believe that the Oaks was super beneficial in my walk heading into college, because it just gave me the peace that I so needed, that the Lord can only provide. So that's why I'm doing the Oaks this year. I want to be able to be a vessel for the Lord, to speak peace into these freshmen lives and to watch them grow up.
The Oaks just means so much to me. Actually, one of the things that the Oaks does, right before, as a freshman, they'll email us and they said, pray for yourself coming to the Oaks, that the Lord may speak to you. And so I asked the Lord for encouragement in my life, just reassurance, and He was so good and faithful to provide that for me. At the Oaks Retreat, I saw counselors who are my own age, just pursuing the Lord with such a passion that I'd never seen in my life before. I actually grew up in the church, and so I've been surrounded with people who love the Lord, but I'd never seen it like this, just so true and genuinely and living out. And it was so encouraging for me to see that as a college student, I could actually be following the Lord faithfully and be walking with Him in community, and that was possible, and that it wasn't 100% a battle every single day, and that it is possible. And the Lord was so good in providing community and helped me get plugged into a church and a faith family.
When I was coming into the Oaks, I was just absolutely not at all following the Lord in any active pursuit whatsoever, but He was 110% pursuing me, and I was just absolutely hit with that one afternoon at the Oaks. And the biggest thing that stuck with me throughout the whole entire retreat was the emphasis on living in the now and being in the present, in His presence. And so really the biggest thing that stuck for me was that your past happened, and it doesn't define you, but it shapes and it molds you to the person that you are today, because that's ultimately who God wants you to be. And just really living in the moment, in the here and now, because everything that has happened up to this point in your life is exactly the Lord's plan, and you're exactly right where you need to be. And also not focusing too heavily on the future, because the Lord has a golden path set directly for you for exactly His plan. So that is just the biggest thing that really stuck with me, and it actually quite literally saved me at the Oaks. I was saved at my Oaks Retreat freshman year, and it was just absolutely amazing just getting to find that community, gospel-centered community, as soon as we got to Auburn. That was something that I was heavily praying for, and absolutely the Lord showed up and met me with that, which is just so exciting.
So the Oaks Retreat was used by the Lord in so many ways in my life. The biggest one was as a freshman I was coming in. I kind of knew what Christian community looked like, but not really like what it would look like in college, or really like the depth of what that means. Of